Hello everybody, welcome to Chow Time. I'm Spike Spencer, and today we are tackling a good old country favorite, meatloaf. I don't know if it's a country favorite, but I'm wearing a country shirt, so I figured, yeah, sure, we're gonna do some meatloaf up in here. Come on now. Okay, so the first thing we start off with is meat. Thank you, and good night. All right, I have 4 pounds of ground beef. You could use ground pork, turkey, chicken, whatever you want. Mix it all up, mix and match, do what you want to do, have fun. I like just the straight up beef. We're going to go with that. I'm going to mix that in a bit, but first we're going to put all of our add-ins in so you'll know where we're going with this. So we'll start with 4 because I'm making 2 big meatloafs, and I found that 2 pounds makes 1 nice meatloaf of this size. I like to start with some onion, and some people will cook the onion, some people won't. They do whatever they want to do. I like a little fresh onion, and I like a little dried onion. So I want a little bit of moisture in there, and I don't mind if there's moisture all over the pan at the end or whatever. But I would sometimes maybe even shred the onion. I could do that too. But for this one, I'm just going to do some nice chunks and just chop it up. So I can show you my chopping prowess. That is, it's not bad. I'm okay with the chopping. I'm no Yan can cook, but I'm okay. Although it's funny, I had a nice humbling experience. I'm pretty good at my chopping, but when I was in class in school in Australia, I decided to go for it. I was just like, okay, yeah, let's go. And I was chopping away, and it was the first time I really chopped fast. So nobody really knew that I knew what I was doing. And so I was chopping, and I'm like, and everybody starts looking at me. They're like, what the heck? And right about that point, I cut my finger. So I was like, was I showing off, or was I just, having fun? I figured, well, I was probably showing off a little bit, so I'm just going to stop doing that. And, humbling experience when you're gushing a little bit of blood. But it was okay. No big deal. Got it all covered. Kept going. Had a great day. So I've got 1 light little onion here. And you notice I've done a video, on my other YouTube channel about, I did cooking videos for a while back there, just for fun, while I was working on my the dating cookbook, Food Game, A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success. I talk about it in several of my videos here. You can go pick one up. A lot of simple recipes, really good stuff. When I talk about different ways of chopping onions and different veggies and all that, there's a lot of different ways. And I still learn stuff from time to time. I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. So we're going to drop this onion in. That's 1 part there. I'm going to do something. I like to have some sun-dried tomatoes. I just did what did I do sun-dried tomatoes with? I just did a recipe with sun-dried tomatoes. I'm trying to remember what that was. I just did it yesterday, and I've forgotten. Oh, I did my succotash. Check out that recipe, my succotash. It's very interesting. But I love sun-dried tomatoes. I prefer the sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, but sometimes you really can't find sun-dried tomatoes, and that's a shame because they're so freaking good. I'm trying to grow tomatoes. I've not had a lot of luck here on the homestead. When we moved in, I had to buy like 50 tomato plants, and I planted them in some raised boxes over there, and in the ground over there, and all around. And literally, I think I got a dozen tomatoes out of the whole batch. They just didn't perform at all. So I pulled back. I've got about 12 plants out there. Hopefully they'll work. I'm still learning gardening and homesteading and all the fun stuff. I will do some shows on some pickling and things like that because I'm into that. I've always liked that, preserving things. I think that's fun. I think it's very healthy for sure if you're doing fermentation and whatnot. And I'm very much into the health. I'm an older father, so I have a 2.5. I basically have 3 and a 7-year-old right now, and I'm, who knows? I might have more. You never know. And I want to stick around, so I try to eat as healthy as I possibly can. And luckily, I cook, so I know what goes in. Okay, onions, sun-dried tomatoes. I'm actually going to put some dried onions. Just a little different texture, a little more onion flavor, a little more oomph there. I'm going to throw in a bunch of garlic. So this is mushed garlic. I'm going to mush it up a little more. Some of it's raw, some of it's roasted garlic. I just did a whole garlic show. Feel free and watch that garlic show. I'll get this in there, some different spots. There we go. What else do we have that I was going to put in there? Some salt, of course. I'm going to hit it with some salt. A good amount of salt. Some nice pepper up here, right. A little pepper there. La 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 la. And if there's any other seasonings you want to put in, this is a great time to do that. If you have some steak seasonings or some barbecue rubs or anything like that, those would do great in meatloaf. I'm going to do it pretty simple, straightforward, just with what I've got here. And of course, I will put my favorite, tarragon. I love putting a lot of tarragon in there. It gives it a little licorice sweetness. It's really, really nice. And all right, you have to have some binders. Oh yeah, and I'll put some parsley in there too. Nice bit of parsley. You have to have binders for the meat. So the 2 binders that are classic, that I'm sure you understand and you know, eggs. I'm going to put 2 eggs. I put 1 egg per 2 pounds. That's what I usually do. Some people use more, some people use less. This is what I do, okay? This is what I do. And we'll put the breadcrumbs. Now I have gluten-free panko breadcrumbs here. Breadcrumbs are classic. You can use old stale bread, put it in a food processor, grind that up. My mom used to use saltine crackers back in the day. You could also use rice as well. That will help extend the meat if you're on a budget and you want to really keep it going. I'm going to put a gob of butter. I know, right? Never heard of that before, right? Well, we're going to see what happens. Everything is better with butter. I'm just saying. Then we're going to get our hands in here. We're going to get messy, y'all. Let's get messy. We don't want to overdo everything, but we really want to make sure that all the flavors get in there. So you want to make sure you flip it over. And if you want to do different flavors, like if you want to go Asian flavors, this is a great way to do that here. Throw those in. Indian, anything, really. A meatloaf is so adaptive and so forgiving, to be honest. You can do anything, and plus you're going to have a glaze, and we're going to go over that once I get this in the oven. But the glaze is a great it's a finishing sauce, basically. The old school time was like Mom would take the meatloaf, throw it in the pan, and then at the end, throw some ketchup on it. There you go, meatloaf. Ta-da! Welcome to the world. I think our tastes have evolved a bit since then, and technique. Thank God for Food Network and the whole big food and chef celebrity movements, because we have learned so many wonderful things. And this is what got me started in food. A cute little Norwegian chick got me started in food back in college. But I wanted to impress her, and I didn't. So that did not go well. But then again, I married a Miss Norway, so I guess I still haven't been to Norway. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you. How's your meatloaf? All right, that's really about all I need to do. I don't need to mesh it up too much. Oh, and a side note, right now, at this point, this is basically meatballs. Same thing. You can take this right here and just go la 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 la. That's meatball music. Ta-da! A meatball. I will do a meatball show, and I'll show you guys how I like to do it, because some people put them in the oven and stuff. I like to actually put them in water or like a chicken broth and boil them. They just have more juice, I guess. All right. Okay. I have olive oil and I have my meatloaf pan. First thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil in that meat pan, and I'm going to smush it all around. I want to make sure I get it on all sides because here's what we're going to do. I take the meatloaf, and since I know I'm making 2 meatloafs, I'm going to kind of cut this in half right about there. That's about right. Seems about right. Cool. So this would be 1 meatloaf. That's about it. And I would just pop it in the pan. Whoop. And I would smush it down all across. Give it a nice flattening here. All the way to the corners. Now we've got a nice formed meat loaf. Hey Spike, what are we gonna do next? I'm gonna show you. Check this out. We're gonna bring this over from behind me. This is my serving tray, my cooking tray, and a little more olive oil on the bottom there. Make sure it's all over. Nice. My hands are gonna be so soft and supple, it's fabulous. Okay, and drop it down. See if that works. Ta-da! Hey everybody, that's 1. Let's go for number 2. Here we go. That's messy on camera, don't do that. I should know better. Seriously, it's my kitchen, man. I rock and roll. I'm just moving fast. Move and shake, baby, move and shake. All right. Make sure a little more meat there. Slap it right down into this one. Any straggler goodies? I got some straggler sun-dried tomatoes, garlic. So you take your meatloaf, you can do themes so that the family doesn't get tired of meatloaf. Throw some bacon in there, throw some basil in there, make Italian meatloaf, make some, I don't know, Botswana meatloaf. I don't know what would go in that. In the comments, please tell me what would go in Botswana meatloaf. Besides lion or zebra, probably. Maybe. I don't know. I have a buddy who's been over there several times. Who is it? Meatloaf. That's who. Okay. We now have our meatloaf ready to rock and roll. This is going to go in the oven. I have the oven at 375, and this is pretty much exactly how it's going to be. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil because I just love freaking putting olive oil on stuff. Let's go. Let's pop it in the oven. Now at 375, that's going to go, normally 1 meatloaf would be about 45, 55 minutes. This may be an hour, 10 minutes, depending. I will be checking it as I go. So while waiting on that, let's make a glaze / dipping sauce. I'm going to make this so freaking easy for you guys. I swear. This is, you can do a million different things, whatever you want to do. Here's what I like to do. I've got a nice barbecue sauce. Cool. I got a barbecue sauce. Okay, I'm gonna put some barbecue sauce in there. There we go. There's some barbecue sauce. I have some ketchup. Yay! It's organic ketchup, by the way. Just make sure. And I don't like the high fructose corn syrup. That is killing us, people. Knock it off. So it does have organic sugar, so that's good. I will be making my own ketchup, by the way. I'm trying to find a really good ketchup recipe that I can make so that I know my kids are getting not just straight sugar, because that's really all it is. It's like, here's some sugar and a tomato, and then I have some hoisin sauce, a little Asian flair. It's got a deep kind of a licoricey flavor to it, which I really dig, and I will put that in, and I might add a little rice vinegar or something. It depends on what I'm feeling like after I mix it up. So I mix it up, and then I just kind of go from there. And this, I will, near the end, I will baste the meatloaf, give it a good basting, and then go back in another 10 minutes maybe, baste it again, depending on where it is. And I want the internal temperature to be about 155, 160. And then I would do the final basting And when I do that final basting, I would probably switch it up to broil for a couple of minutes just to get a nice char to it. And I'll show you that at the end, but that's gonna be in there for a while. But I wanna make sure we got this done, and so you can see how easy it is. That's fabulous. I mean, it's basically just a barbecue sauce, but it's got a little something to it. Wow, this is gonna be so nice. Okay, so that's where we are at this point. I will come back, we will serve it up. Also with meatloaf, like I did in other recipes, you take it out of the oven, you need to let it sit, you need to tent it. And I'll show you all that in a little bit. But that's it for now, and I will see you as soon as I go and get that out of the oven. I'll walk this way, and then I'll walk back, and I'll have it. Okay. For the moment we've all been waiting for, meatloaf is done. So just so you know what I did, I took the meatloaf out and I set it, let it sit. I tented it like I tent the chicken. And it was started at about an internal temperature of 155, 160. It has rested, so all the juices are inside, looking good. I've got the sauce. Now I had a glaze, I glazed it. I didn't broil it at the end, but I did glaze it, and then I added water to the glaze to make it a sauce now. So we're just gonna plate it, and we're done. Check it out. So what I would start is take off the end like this, and I would say that for me. Then, it's a little warm here. Take a nice piece here, a nice piece here, maybe even one more piece because we can. Why not? Take all three pieces, set them down nicely, give it a little stagger. Stagger leads to swagger. Here we are. We have our meatloaf. You see the meatloaf there? But wait, there's more. So that glaze that I made earlier, I'm going to take that. Now if I had, I'd put it in a bottle and do a cool squeezy and all that stuff. But you know what? I'm hungry. Let's eat. So I will take it. I usually put it right down the middle. Make sure I've got a good amount all down the center. Because every time I make this, somebody always says, I need more sauce. Well, but the meatloafs, I did the work on the meatloaf. Yes, but sauce. Fine. A little end up garnish. A little hit with a little olive oil, as I do. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, now that is meatloaf, baby. Down home country cooking, y'all. We're Spike Spencer right here on the ranch, farm, estate, whatever the hell we're calling it these days. That's it, guys. This was meatloaf. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy making meatloaf, so I do it quite a bit. So go out there, try it, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe here. Tell all your friends about Chow Time, and tell me in the comments, what would you put in your meatloaf? I want to get some new ideas, so fire them off at me, and we'll talk. Thank you so much. Spike Spencer, this is Chow Time. Let's eat.